Deadly. So we're here with Shano, one of our members that is with us about 2 or 3 months now, even made it through lockdown. So Shane, what made you join Denny Collins Fitness? How were you doing beforehand?
Uh, Kind of beforehand, I kind of came back. I had been away. I had injured a shoulder when I was over in Australia. I'd been doing some farm work. I kind of came back. There was a period of kind of the lockdown, and then the depression kind of set in. The shoulder was sore. I became very depressed in at the time as well. So that stopped my motivation. Um, I had noticed even when I was doing the farm work, I was only physically fit enough to kind of do 2 or 3 days of it. When there was guys that were kind of the same age as me and same, I suppose, body types as me that were still able to move a lot faster and a lot better. I came back and I suppose the main one was that I have a 3-year-old niece, and I my mom would mind her. I'd come over or I'd come down and she'd be running around and playing and trying to get me to chase her and all that sort of stuff. After about 5-10 minutes, I'd be winded. I wasn't able to move. She'd want me to pick her up. I could pick her up maybe once or twice, and that was physically all I was able to do. I literally couldn't do it. So yeah, just kind of that was kind of the wake up call, I suppose, where I was like, okay, right, I really need to start taking my fitness a bit serious. I had previously, like, I'd been to other gyms and joined other gyms, and I'd followed workout plans there, but it was never really consistent. But even then, the level of it, there was never kind of huge improvements to it. So while I was able to do quite a lot in the gym in the real world, then it didn't really quite translate over. Um, and that's kind of what got me interested in kind of getting back to it, I suppose.
Brilliant, man. Excellent stuff. And with all that, how are you feeling now? Like, what are the main benefits or improvements you've seen since?
Man, so much better. The regular exercise, the intensity has been really, really good for me. Especially like just mental health wise. Exercise has always been great, and I think that was another thing that you guys there at Dinny kind of had pointed out even at the beginning when I was going through the kind of startup process. Is like, look, this is going to be good for your mental health as well. You just kind of put that tagline on there, and it's true, frankly, no matter what. Uh, but when I started, I'd say, like I think I had said to you previously, trying to do a burpee, I was doing it kind of in like maybe 5 steps type of thing, where I was kind of having to, I might have to crouch down, then kind of lean forward, and then move forward,
In
kind of get
sections.
the press up back, and then kind of stand up again and jump. And it was very, very slow in terms of mobility, in terms of the movement. And even some of the things like the kettlebell swings and all that sort of stuff, and even the strength. Obviously, like if you haven't been to the gym in quite a while, the strength goes down too. But it wasn't pushed, and I was able to kind of slowly build on it. And now I'm able to kind of use kind of a heavier kettlebell as well. I'm able to move a lot easier. I have a lot more energy, which is great when the niece is here. I can then lift her up and carry her around without problems. So yeah, that's really all that matters to me.
Makes it much more like worthwhile, isn't it? A lot of people think it's only aesthetics focused, where it's actually the main benefits are your own mental health and your actual day to day living really improves. Really,
That was kind of the other thing I think that made you guys different than any other gym, is that there is an element with every other gym. There's an aesthetics thing. It's about how you look. I've never been one that really cared much, to the chagrin of my family and friends, about how I look. Um, so that never bothered me. I was never the guy that wanted the 6 pack or anything like that. I was just always focused on kind of being physically able and having the health benefit. But you'd go to other gyms, and especially like after you kind of do the introductory session, you're kind of forgotten about.
I was
Uh,
just going to ask you, what, in your opinion, is the main difference from a typical gym to Denny's to
yeah,
DCF?
it
What, in
really
your
is, like,
opinion?
because you're kind of forgotten about after that initial introductory session in other gyms. And then, especially, I know myself when I started in the gym fairly like in my late teens, and I've seen it in every other gym since. If you're tired, if you're having a bad day, especially with guys, there's an ego thing that comes into it. They're always trying to lift heavier because they see other people lifting heavier. But that, as I said, you're then forgotten about. And then when you see these people kind of coming in, or you're trying to do something new or something lift heavier, you're not quite ready for it. I've injured myself in the past doing that, ended up putting me out, and that's a level of consistency that I kind of lost. But you guys, since the very beginning, have always checked in, kept me motivated, kept me accountable, which is another thing, especially with the depression and anxiety. It can be, oh, you're going into a class, it's a lot of strangers, but there's a social anxiety element to that, and especially because you're working out. But the one thing is that you have been so open and friendly and warm, and even the other members have been great. If there was days where maybe I picked up a heavier kettlebell than I thought I was able to handle, you guys always said, oh no, look, just change the kettlebell, get a lighter weight, don't injure yourself, don't hurt yourself. If you're not able to do this movement, adapt, try this one instead. It's similar benefits. And I think that is also key. I haven't been injured since I started joining, so that's a good sign.
Yeah, not here to impress anybody.
Yeah, it's good, man. It really is. And even during the lockdown, you had the lockdown challenge. Some of that I'm still doing. Even if it was not like you had the workouts based challenges, I think it was 2 a week, was it? And then
usually, yeah.
Then it was, try a session of yoga, try a session of meditation, try the grounding element, walk barefoot outside for a bit, pick up litter kind of as you're out for a walk. All really kind of good things that weren't just necessarily based solely on physical fitness. It really was. It was just kind of, look, here's something to do. Here's a challenge for you. Keep you guys going. And then you just checked in with me as well every week, just to see how I was kind of getting on with that. And that's really what makes you different. You just actually give a damn about your members. And focus on the mental health stuff as well. Like, it's not just all about the aesthetic. It's about kind of what's good for you and what's going to help you improve.
Yeah, and the side benefit then is actually getting in shape and losing weight and feeling better. So it's actually a side benefit.
That really is the secondary element.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. That's brilliant, Shane. So last question. So like that, coming into the new year, especially with the new year, new me buzz coming into January, what would you say to somebody that's sitting on the fence now? Maybe I will, maybe I won't. What would be your advice to somebody that's sitting on the fence and is where you were a few months ago?
It's absolutely just put the action behind it and go for it. Just do it. As Nike say, you need that element. You need that thing. The first step is always the hardest. But as I said, I think I had said it to Dinny at one point as well. It was like I was actually really looking forward to going to the gym classes, just because the banter, because of the crack, because of the energy. But it's initially taking that first step is probably the hardest thing to do. But once you do it, I don't think you'll regret it. You just have to kind of keep going.
We always say the hardest step is the one through the front door, and the hardest weight you lift is getting your ass off the couch, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely, actually, yeah. The couch one is, especially now, it's very easy to vegetate.
Nice.